What if I told you your phone might be silently rewiring your brain? And not in a cool sci-fi kind of way, but in ways that can actually make life harder. Let's break this down. Here's 3 phone habits that might be killing your brain and what you can do about it. Across the world, mornings have always been seen as a sacred time for setting intentions and creating routines. In Japan, Zen Buddhist monks begin their mornings with zazen, a meditative sitting practice. This ritual sets the tone for mindfulness and calm before starting the day's tasks. And in Indian culture, the period roughly 1 to 2 hours before sunrise is often called the time of creation. This is considered the most favorable part of the day for meditation, prayer, and intellectual activities. What we can learn from these cultures is that mornings are an important part of a productive day. This has been understood for a very long time, and here's some ways to break the cycle of scrolling in the morning. Use a physical clock to wake yourself up in the morning instead of your phone. Most people use their phone as an alarm, which is the easiest way to start scrolling first thing in the morning. Once your phone is in your hand in the morning, it's game over. Trust me. I personally block most apps on my phone between 5 and 11 a.m. This seems a bit radical, but it's the best way to avoid scrolling first thing in the morning, even when I'm at my weakest. I use the app lock feature in Opal and set it for weekdays when I need to be most productive. By the way, if you want to learn more about managing your screen time and other ways to balance your digital diet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Kids are getting exposed to devices at a younger age, making the act of boredom much more rare. So a whole generation is missing out on what makes childhood so fun: daydreaming. In the early 20th century, Sigmund Freud saw daydreams as a window into unconscious desires. This more recent study, published in Creativity Research Journal, shows that boredom can actually boost creativity. This suggests that the idle moments of boredom promote daydreaming, which in turn fosters divergent thinking and the ability to generate novel solutions. Here are some tips to make more space for boredom in your life. You can schedule specific hours during your day when you completely disconnect from digital devices, such as during meals or before bedtime. Personally, I use a time block on all apps in Opal. I use one called Wind Down, which helps me wind down after a busy day at work. The reason this works is that without a device nearby, your mind is more likely to wander, allowing space for creativity and introspection in the mind. I use this time to take a walk outside or to sit with my dog for a little bit. Instead of reaching for your phone in idle moments, like waiting in line or during your morning commute, observe your surroundings or let your thoughts drift. This is something I picked up from the Headspace app, which is great for meditation practice. You should also check that out. These brief periods of downtime can serve as mini resets, giving your brain the chance to rest and reset. And a little tip, you can carry a small notebook to jot down ideas that might come up during these moments. Historically, news was delivered in newspapers once a day or via evening broadcasts. The news people received was few and far between and taken in smaller doses. In other words, people had time to process events, and getting the news required a little bit more work than it does today. Today, we really don't have time to process information. We receive it and move on to the next thing without a second thought. Even worse, we can't seem to avoid the news because it turns up everywhere. Between the wars, climate disasters, elections, and human violence, it's getting harder to see the news without walking away and feeling like the world is falling apart. Here's the thing though, you have the option to turn it off. I tend to look at the news later in the day after lunch when most of my important work is done, and I have a little bit more bandwidth at that point. If you feel tempted to peek at the news, you can always block certain apps and websites with Opal. Here's what I do. Another way to control your news cycle is to avoid breaking news, which often aims to be shocking and fast rather than correct. You can use a publication like Slow Journalism, which gives you quarterly news updates after the dust has settled. This is a much better way to stay informed about what's happening in the world. So, let's revisit that opening question. What if your phone is silently rewiring your brain? The good news is that you have the power to change that by rethinking your relationship with news, adjusting your phone's settings, embracing boredom, and putting some distance between you and your phone. You can reclaim your mental clarity and focus. And let us know in the comments, which one of these habits are you tackling first? If you like this video and want to learn other ways to manage your screen time, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.